We're going. All right, so the song.
Lucas Joyner. So the song's "I'm Not a Racist." It is a great song. It takes both sides, kind of takes the whole social media and news and puts it all in a song.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. So you got that one guy. Some people think all you want to do is be on the tit of the government, and why don't you try to be a dad, and black on black crime, and like any kind of counter to a stereotype.
Yeah.
Then you got this black guy talking about, well, you don't know anything about me and how I grew up and how I couldn't get a job and I still have bills to pay. So how do I make that happen? And he chooses the life to counteract what a typical person should be, like go out and get a job, go out and, he takes that part away. And one of the things that I think resonated pretty well, he says, you want to talk about my Black Lives Matter movement, right? To say that all things matter, how do you revolt against a revolt?
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting how he said, I'm trying to say something because of how we're being treated by law enforcement.
Yeah.
You don't come back and say how the rest of the world's being treated by law enforcement. You're countering my revolt or revolution with another revolt or revolution instead of coming up with a prognosis or why.
Well, and you're on the same team then.
You are.
Sort of.
You are.
Yeah.
So it wasn't to say that not all lives matter. It was to say that, hey, look, this is how we're being affected. Kind of like it was, I call it a repeat of the NWA movie, right? And it was like they had a message during that time, regardless of what they were doing. Understand, breaking laws, doing whatever you have to do, but you still don't deserve to get beat up or mistreated, slapped around.
Absolutely not.
Because you're in a society. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So with this song, it kind of counteract that, and it gave both sides. The video is good too, because the guy is so like he probably in his mind and in a lot of people's minds, like these are great points that he's making. And this person was like, you don't have. So then the black guy was like, look, you have no idea. Kind of like if you never been to the ghetto, don't come to the ghetto, or you don't know anything about the ghetto, so stay the fuck out the ghetto. That was what DMX or
I'm not sure.
But anyway, that was in a rap song too.
Yeah.
So it was like really, it goes back to our normalizing toxicity, right?
Sure.
And it's just like, look, you have no idea what I go through. Like, I remember getting smacked off a bench by a cop, and like just for no reason, because he felt that he had that authority. Just because you put on a uniform, the authority is not bestowed on you. You're not my overseer now. You're supposed to be there for the community, for my protection, not to keep me down.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's a really good video, really good song. Like the dude did really some forward thinking and putting this out there. The cat is like his
I'll
rap
have to check it out.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I first started listening to it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
It's strong.
Right out of the gate, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a lot. And so I'll have to, now that you've recommended it even further,
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. And the video. I like the videos anymore. It's like, I don't know, videos went away for a while and now they're coming back pretty strong.
Well, you figure you got a platform that you could put it on there for free. Mm-hmm. You think of the budget.
No more MTV.
Yeah. Well, you think of the budget you can have for a video with the technology now.
Sure.
You can go out and buy a $400, like a good $400 camera and make your own video and use the tools that are on the internet, like in YouTube or whatever. You could just make stuff happen on super low budgets. Right. So like a singer's overhead is almost minuscule. Then you throw it on there, and now YouTube is gonna pay you for every time somebody watches it.
Not bad.
That's crazy.
Well, somebody was telling me iTunes is going to get rid of the single purchase. Like, you can't just buy songs. It's going to be a subscription service only.
Huh.
Because they said the actual song purchases only account for a minimal amount of the overall purchases on iTunes.
So iTunes purchases the album. Is that where we're at?
It sounds like that's how it's going to go. Is they're going to give, based on your, I don't know. It would probably work similar to like the ad-based version of YouTube.
Yeah.
Where the more traffic you pull in, so the more people who download your album or listen or stream your album, you probably get more.
Right.
I would assume so.
Which is kind of funny because I remember when Spotify first started hitting, there was very minimal ads. Now you're getting flooded, and they have this little clickbait, say, hey, click here and the next 30 minutes are free. So it interrupts the song, and you can only you can't fast forward, you can't go through like a playlist. And you can't download a playlist either. You could probably download a song to keep it on there.
You can listen to it offline with like the premium service.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
So
right?
It seems like they're double dipping, right? So they're getting the ad, and then, hey, you don't want to hear my ads? Go ahead and subscribe. So like it's
you remember when Spotify first come out though? There wasn't all the songs weren't on there.
Right.
I feel like it took a while for it to become mainstream music to be on there.
Yeah. Well, I think people create playlists and then they put their playlists on there. But I'm sure that they don't get credit for their playlists.
I don't know. I know a guy that created this country music playlist, and people reach out to him all the time about that playlist. I don't know if he gets money for it, but yeah, he's been doing it for 5 years, and he just keeps curating this playlist. It's very interesting.
Like I really don't know how all that, like the algorithms and ads and how they make money, but they're making more money. Artists are making more money.
Are they?
Yeah, artists are making more money as opposed to so. Let's think back. Michael Jackson, Prince, they had to throw out like albums all the time, but they'll throw out like 7 songs and then keep like 15 on reserve. And then so they can
keep dropping albums.
Yeah. So now people could just drop singles. You could drop singles.
That's what Ed Sheeran just did.
Yeah.
Did you see how he released his album? He released couple songs every couple days and then dropped the whole album. It was like he put a bunch of tasters out,
kind of like what we're doing,
and then
we're putting our YouTube channel, got the tasters out there, and
exactly. But then his his whole entire album is a collaboration.
I think Eminem's on one of them.
Yeah, he raps with Eminem on one.
Yeah.
It's like it's on the radio already. It's pretty cool because. And it's similar to what we'll do on the podcast too, is when we start having guests on, is like you not only get your fan base, my fan base, but then their fan base.
Right. Yeah.
And it's total cycle, and really you help everybody out.
Absolutely. Well, that's what this whole thing's about. So really, what was our why when we came up with this?
With this?
Yeah. To you, what was the why?
To me, I just wanted to do a podcast. And the reason why I wanted to do a podcast is I have a goal of creating a community. Like, that's just a goal of mine.
Community of who?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no target in mind. And as a business type of mentality, that's totally against everything you're supposed to do.
This is true.
You should have a target market that you're going after.
Yeah.
And I think just by being me, I'll hit a target market somehow.
Like organically.
Just organically.
Yeah.
I don't want to manufacture who I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm not even selling anything. It's just who's going to listen to me,
This is true. Yeah.
And it's just been a goal of mine. It was a goal of mine at the beginning of this year, at kind of end of last year, was create community. Mm-hmm. It's on my vision wall upstairs. Like it's one of my goals.
So someone that has a vision wall, you still have no market that you would like try to want to reach. How does that work?
Well,
you're organized in some thoughts, but not others.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably an audience right there.
Yeah, and
people that are organized in some things and then hosh posh of everything else.
Right. It's like the CEOs who like dominatrix, you know? They're so...
You went there?
Yeah, because like there's...
CEOs getting beat.
What? Yeah. Why? Here's why. Certain avenues of your life need to be a certain way, and then other parts of your life are totally opposite. Where you're in control all the freaking time as a CEO.
Got it.
You like to be in total... not in control, whatever that
totally
is. Submissive. That's what I would think.
Hey, I'm on.
You were on that one. So submissive in that respect. So yeah, I think that there's balance in that.
Yeah.
And that's where I, with the amount of structure that you have to have during the week with a business and with kids and with your wife and all of that.
Right.
It's kind of nice just to not have to follow fucking A1, 2, 3.
Right, and to have a ball gag in your mouth and getting beat.
Wow, that's on Thursdays. But in all seriousness, that and as far as answering a question as to why I want to do a podcast, first off, everybody's doing podcasts. Anybody who's anybody is doing a podcast.
So we're somebody.
I feel like I'm somebody. And I feel like people will listen.
Yeah.
And, it's fun.
It is.
It's fun to know that every Sunday we're going to hang out and just bullshit.
Yeah.
And mess around and then record it and then make some videos later.
Right.
And then let people enjoy it. And maybe that's it. Enjoyment from people. That's why I like to do things.
Yeah.
To have other folks enjoy something during the day. And if I can bring that to them in some weird way on a podcast or video, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty much like, I think me and you were on the same wavelength for that, because I made it a purpose in my life that I wanted to do something for people. All right. I wanted to create a community of good people that want to create good humans. And whatever motivation or excitement that I can do to bring that, whatever content touches you in whatever way, then I'm all about it. So just like how you're trying to build a community based on maybe something that might resonate with them, man, resonate,
you
submissive.
got tons of syllables.
I don't know what's going on, right? Like a Stephen King novel.
Okay.
You don't know this?
What? Stephen King? I know Stephen King.
But he has books that are 1,100 pages, and he can probably narrow it down with all the adjectives that he has into 20.
Into 20. I've actually never read one of his books. I heard they're really good.
They're good books.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movies are better. What?
Of course they are, because you don't have to read them.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's been really my movement, and I swear, like, either God is like, look, this is why you're here, and like he came up out of a speaker. I think I don't know what happened. He was like, look, tapped me on the shoulder, said, look, this is why you're here. I want you to motivate people, because I'm coming to a point where in my life that, to get real biblical, if the world were going to end, and let's say the good people, we talk about rapture, the good people leave, I wouldn't mind being here to fight for the people that are left. Like, I think that that's where I want to be. Like, I'll be able to help the ones that didn't make it.
Okay.
Like, I want to be there to protect those people. And however I do that, with my self-defense, with the firearms, with just giving them a good taste of positivity, then I want to do that. Yeah. So I want to be used as a vehicle for that. And it's so weird when people, and you're the same way. When people hear you speak and like your drive and to the motivation that you have for a particular topic, boom, you're like on fire with it, and people want to hear that. So maybe that's probably the whole reason why we started this.
Yeah.
You know, to just have good, positive motivation to help people.
It's hard to see everybody that you want to see.
It is. It
You
is.
know, this gives us
and there's a lot of bullshit content out there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
horrible stuff.
Absolutely. And, I don't know. It just gives you an opportunity with a podcast to touch a lot of different folks and with the social media platforms that we can post on.
Yeah.
And how simple is it just to click on a link?
It's so simple.
It's like, it's no brainer.
People are looking for something to
Yeah.
kind of like get away from their lives. Mm-hmm. Why not be us two good looking folk with that strong beard of yours? You see this thing? Look at that is crazy.
This is like a month.
Bro, that would take me like 5 years.
Well, I can't grow it in the middle here, like where the cheeks are. So, oh well, we'll shave it.
Bro, but
Kind of got chops.
my haircut is on fire.
You do got the nice curls.
So shout out to the guy behind the bricks that's
guy
cutting my
behind the
hair.
bricks.
Yeah, I call him Deadeye. He's
Does he do any like designs and things like that?
no, he doesn't. He doesn't need to. The guy's been cutting hair for about 20, 30 years.
Okay.
And so I've been giving him some motivation even there. So I'm sitting in the dude's chair and I'm like, bro, you got a skill. Why don't you hone this and help other people with this skill? He's like, well, I don't know how to do that, So
Like to teach other people how to be a barber?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can have like people under their wing and then get a piece of their profit by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So his whole thing, he kept getting in trouble on the after hours when the store closed. So I came up with an idea and I was like, why don't you have an after hours barber? How cool would that be? Mm-hmm. So the guy that's getting ready to go to a club, because it's not like in Northwest Pennsylvania, in New York, people were clubbing until like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like where we're talking about going to hang out at 8:30, like that's when they're coming up from their nap and they're going to start to get ready at 11:30. And then they keep it moving through the night. I remember
way too late.
I remember going to clubs and you coming out and the sun is like, "Oh, wow, we did that." Yeah. Yeah.
So you stay out all night
all
until the
night
morning.
Till the morning and then go crash.
And then crash during the day.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. That's like putting in a midnight shift.
Yeah.
When everybody else is sleeping.
Freaking New York is really the city that never sleeps.
Sure.
Like you can have traffic at 10:30.
Did you see yesterday that they had a power outage in Town Square?
What? Was there looting involved?
I didn't hear about any looting. Yeah, there were 90,000 people without power.
So that's like 2 blocks.
But yeah, but it was really strange to see it blacked out.
Yeah.
In Times Square.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
I said Town Square. Times Square.
Where are you at? Kind of like the hoedown and the shindig or whatever you.
No. It's called honky tonky. Is what it's called in Nashville. And I remembered like the next day I was in the car. Or
I know
something.
you sent me a
I
text.
sent you a text because
Yeah.
like it just come back to me, so I had to spew it out there. Yeah.
Hey, so back to fall. I had a very interesting person come into my school the other day, and I'm not gonna put his name out there, but I think I tell you, like this dude was a douche.
Hopefully he doesn't come back.
Big guy. I mean, he's a big guy. World-class kickboxer, freaking MMA dude. Like, he's well known.
Okay.
Right? So, he comes into, after my Krav class, and I'm going over some weapons retention or weapons fitting. I was fitting one of our students with a gun to say, hey, look, this is how you measure a gun to see if it works for you. If you can manipulate all the functions of that pistol, then it works. Or it feels good in your hand, then it works. So we would drive, safe place, and then he comes walking in. and like he's not a little guy. He's probably about 6'2", like a beefy, probably about.
Is he beefy or jacked?
225. It's more of a beef.
Okay.
Like, you could tell he's big, but he's not like form cut guy.
Okay.
So he's just all.
So he's
power.
out of practice.
Yeah, he's all power.
Okay.
Kickboxer, and so he had a school that he no longer has in the area that I'm at, and he was like, "Oh well, I just can't get it to work. I can't." And he talked for 20 minutes about himself.
Ooh, nice.
The whole thing. Oh, what I do, and then my students, like, I kick their ass as soon as they walk in to try to get them to. And I'm thinking, I said, that's not how you do it, my friend.
No wonder he doesn't have a gym anymore.
Yeah, and he's like, oh well, I had 80 students strong. I was like, well then, sweet. That's a good day. That's a good school. And he's like, but then it started trickling away. And I said, well, probably because you were hurting them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to come back.
Yeah, nobody wants to be hurt.
Right. So
they're not all fighters.
That's like more a hobby, a sport thing. I'm trying to fulfill a different part of my life, kind of like a CEO that wants to get matrixed.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Anyway, so he was really beating these people down, and I can understand when I heard him speak for 20 minutes about himself. For one, he was vetting me. He was trying to see what I knew and my lineage and where I came from. But I was just hitting him back and why I do things. And it was just like, boom, nonstop, all about himself. And I said, those are the instructors that are out there. You can, just because you say, I'm an instructor, I'm going to help people freaking defend themselves, but I'm going to kick your ass. Like, that's not a good instructor.
But that also kind of gives credence to what you guys are doing, because you could get a guy like that. When you walk through the doors, you could get a guy that's going to kick your ass, and that's scary as shit.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
That type of mentality should just be totally eliminated. That is not okay.
No.
We are not trying to train to be MMA fighters.
Right.
It's just that's a different training. And even the guys who have MMA gyms, they do that. Mm-hmm. Not what this guy does, but they have separate classes where, like Uriah Faber last night, Team Alpha Male.
Digging it, 40-year-old man.
Yeah, but he has a gym where they have classes where they're MMA classes, where they will spar and all that type of thing, but they also have classes like we have.
Right.
And the MMA guys go to those classes too.
Yeah.
But they don't kick the shit out of people that are just not trying, that are just there to cardio.
Right. Yeah.
That are just there to, this is my workout for the week.
Yeah.
That is just not okay. That actually makes me pretty mad.
Yeah. Shout out to all the bad instructors out there. You looking for some good ones, go ahead, let me know.
Yeah, but that's just it's a terrible business model to follow. And it's even your psyche, and that's so crazy that I'm going to talk about this, because this morning on my run, the guy that I was running with, he has a class where he's a professor at the university here in town, and one of his classes is going to be focused on emotional intelligence and empathy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, and he's going to send me over the audiobook because I want to be a little more well-versed in this, because it speaks highly to the way that everybody learns and creates mental images and creates memories in their head. And it has everything to do with that initial response.
Uh-huh.
So if you have initial response that is favorable, you're going to remember that. You're going to remember that more so than something that had no emotional response.
Yes.
And the same goes for a negative.
Yes.
So if you get that guy, as soon as you walk in and he kicks your ass, you better believe you're going to remember that, not like it, and you won't go back there.
This is true.
It's your lizard brain kicking in,
right?
Fight or flight.
Yes.
When I get my ass kicked, I typically don't go back to that source.
Right. Yep. Because you've belittled that person. It's not good. And I just listening to Tony Blauer's podcast, he had a guy on there that talked about that. He says, it's not going to be good for your psyche if I kick your ass. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be more defeating for you than it would be for me. Mm-hmm. And it goes right to your point. It says, that would resonate with you. Like if you eat bad sushi at a restaurant, you're not like, oh, can't wait to go back there.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that one again.
Yeah. Well, let me just make sure that it wasn't just that one, And relationships are the same way. Horrible relationship. Let me go back and stick it out with this person. Let me go to try to make this work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
That never works.
No.
Yeah, but what we were talking about is there's so much research behind it as to why it doesn't work and why certain things do work. Yeah. And I can't wait to listen to the book. It's an audio book that he's going to send over to me, but I'm really interested in it because
it sounds
just the way that there's a marshmallow experiment that he talked about. Okay, so this marshmallow experiment was years ago. This is like maybe in the 70s. I can't remember exactly. Okay. But anyhow, there's a marshmallow. There's a 4-year-old and the scientist or experiment guy that is with the 4-year-old and says,
experiment guy.
Whatever. The scientist, the professor. So there's a marshmallow. There's the 4-year-old and this guy. Mm-hmm. He tells the 4-year-old, he says, you can eat this marshmallow now, or when I come back from running a couple errands, you can have 2 marshmallows. So they did this over hundreds of kids, okay? And some ate the marshmallow immediately, some waited. And what they did was waited years down the road when they graduated high school. Mm-hmm. And they were saying the kids who delayed the gratification at 4 years old, they delayed the gratification and got the 2 marshmallows, had higher test scores, were more successful in school, academics, in all types of different avenues of their life. Yeah. So they're saying that it's hardwired in your brain at 4 years old for delayed gratification.
Wow.
So what we're doing in those first 4 years shaping...
Instead of the instant gratification, like, hey, I want chocolate. Well, wait till after dinner.
Yeah. And where I immediately went was, okay, so delayed gratification, that's one thing. But the empathy that we're showing from one another. And not only in the success portion of it, but the defeat portion. Mm-hmm. So in your psyche, this is kind of where I went to, was with all the participation trophies and things like that. When you are showing empathy that isn't really based in any reality, where does that end up? Like, what happens to that mind?
Yeah.
When they reach an age where you have to confront reality, which is just a job in general, or something that is adverse to what they're used to hearing.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. And it was funny. So, and the reason why I thought about that, and I kind of connected the dots with the emotional intelligence piece today, was I met with a customer last week, and he was telling me that he's having issues with the younger generation coming through his workforce. He's mid to late 30s, this guy that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And the guys he's bringing in are, 21 to 26 years old.
He's on the first part of the millennial.
Right. So he doesn't quite understand it. He understands the technology and things like that, and that's no big deal for him, because that's a bit of a learning curve for some of the older generation.
Yeah.
And we talked about that too, but what really drove home this point of the emotional intelligence and the participation trophies and all of this umbrella topic was he's having issues when those kids do something wrong. Like when they do something wrong and he tells them about it, they look at him like, I don't do things wrong. Like that's the type of mentality they have. And he will have kids quit.
Because you told them they did something wrong.
Yeah, because they continuously do it wrong because they don't believe you.
Wow.
They think what they're doing is right. So I don't know if any of that connects whatsoever. But for me, in my
That's
brain,
where you went with.
I feel like it all connects. Because if you don't have an ego in check at some point during those years, if you're not humbled at some point, then you get a 20-something-year-old that's acting like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Because they're getting what they want all the time.
Yeah. And they're staying at home. They're not trying to do anything else in their life.
I think that there's a connection.
I think it goes based on like feelings or whatever, like, I don't want that job. I don't think it's right for me. Or like, my man, you got bills to pay. You're going to have to choose something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
everybody wants to make 6 figures right out of the gate.
And ideal. My IGTV video I put out, my giving away magical wands.
Yeah.
Same thing. People, I'm like, hey, look, I can help you out with your gut health, with your weight loss, physical activity, firearms training, anything. But you can't all of a sudden take a magic wand and say, boom, you're going to lose 50 pounds. There has to be a process to that. It took you 30 years to get 50 pounds. You think in 2 weeks it's going to be gone. I don't get it. Like, this is not working. That instant gratification.
Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah.
Because it's getting a little hard.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Take the fork out of your mouth. Let's try that. You know,
Step one.
Yeah. There's not, like, there is so much stuff out there on, hey, weight loss here, boom, live a better life here, boom. But nobody wants to work at it. Mm-hmm. They just want to be like, there it is. I got the body that I've always wanted in my life, and I didn't have to do anything about it. Well, or people says, yeah, I need help weight loss, but I hate working out. Like what? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like,
just put a filter on your body then.
Yeah.
When you take pictures, just filter it.
Yeah. It's so funny that, you know, they have it in their mind like, oh well, but I want it now.
Microwave society.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Listen, I fall victim to it just as much as anybody else.
Oh, with these things.
Yeah.
You know how long it took for your freaking phone to make a phone call? Dial up internet. Remember?
Yeah. And now I get irritated when somebody doesn't text me right back.
Yeah, it's too slow.
Like,
my man, it
like,
goes
bro,
from
your
your
phone
goes to the satellite, freaking what?
In
20
outer
miles,
space.
comes back, and you want it like right now. But this is taking way too long.
It's 5 seconds later. You're like, shut up. Stop it. You know? Unreal.
But what do you do with that?
Listen, you teach them. You know? Failure is going to happen.
Yes.
Like, you're going to suck at stuff.
I love sucking at stuff sometimes.
I hate it.
But that's how you're going to grow.
Exactly, but that's the difference, right? Yeah. Somebody who hates it.
That's your mentality.
Right,
though.
it's somebody who hates it but knows that hating it is good for you. But that is a lot of emotional intelligence built up over a long time to understand that, okay, sweating my ass off today and grinding it out is really beneficial for me.
Yeah.
The whole way through college, my dad would always say, just keep putting in your time. Keep putting in your time. And I swear to God, if he said that one more time, he was not going to have front teeth. You know? And then my boss, he said the same thing. Dude, you're doing the right things. You're doing the right things. Just keep pounding the pavement. Keep going. Keep being patient. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Now, listen, these are two guys that are very successful in their lives.
Right.
And if they continuously tell me that, clearly there's truth to it.
Right.
Everybody who's anybody says the exact same stuff.
Yes.
If you could just be patient and do the right things, and that's the tricky part, is doing the right things. What does that mean?
Yeah.
That's the fucking recipe. It's so easy and so hard at the same time. It takes 2 steps.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone and keep doing it.
Right. Just keep hitting.
That's it.
Back to me and Chris talk about scratching the scab. It's going to bleed eventually. Mm-hmm. You know, depending on how long that scab's been there, you keep scratching at it. A little bit at a time, it's gonna bleed. Like, it's going to open up. You figure we started this, the Valor PDS business 2 years ago now. And we just keep doing it. We just keep hitting it. Now we got 2 more schools. We keep hitting it. Now we're training from 2 students on a firing range to 25 students on a firing range. Like we couldn't even think of the numbers like before.
Yeah.
We barely had stuff to put in our trailer, and now we need a bigger trailer. But we're not done yet. We're still just hitting it. One thing that me and Chris always talked about, it's going to be great because I think we're going to have him in the next couple episodes or whatever. And but we just had to be there. If we said, hey, look, we're scheduling a time and we got 2 people there, we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Like I went to this Pride event and there wasn't hardly anybody there. But I told the guy that was hosting the event, I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. So I had to show my face. I went there and I still sat and talked to some people, handed out some business cards, let them know, hey, I can help you be able to defend yourself. We could talk about firearms training. We could just talk about motivation, period. Mm-hmm. Like I did that. Yeah. I just pounded the pavement. I was like, you know what? I'm already here. Let me walk the streets. And I was going into businesses. Hey, what's up? I'm Aaron Diaz. I do this and that and it right here in Meadville.
Right.
That's it. I'm already there. I'm just gonna keep pounding the pavement.
Right.
And people don't want to do that. People they want to get. Hey, well, why am I not a millionaire right now? Or why can't I leave my other job already? You can't do that. There's a process. And I have a problem with patience too. Like there comes to a point like, okay, I'm tapping out. Like I really need to get over this hump. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with anything else. You're going to get to a point where like, okay, let's say you've been dating a girl for 2 years, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're thinking about, oh, do we talk about kids? Do we talk about marriage? Do we talk, like, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, where's that pinnacle? Like, do I continue to grow with this person, or do I say, hey, let's put a ring on it?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a country song like that.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, it's
but you lose everything at the end.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's like this. It's a guy. It's a dad basically talking about his little girl and how she's growing up, and just to slow down a little bit. She has an apartment, and then she goes, yeah, it's good for now, but I want to have a house, and then I want to have kids and more kids and stuff like that. So yeah,
they want it now.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, I get it because, but at the same time, it's one of those deals too where, once you get it, then it's on to the next thing.
Yeah,
I thought about that today while I was finishing up the run too, because I was like, whenever I get down on myself, it's because it's not progressing fast enough. Mm-hmm. So something that I've began to realize is whenever you have multiple things going on in your life, like the podcast, like jiu-jitsu, running, my job,
right,
my kids, my wife, things like that. When you have all of these different things, something's going right. Something's moving forward.
Yeah.
And if you only have one thing, like let's say that you just focus on your job. Mm-hmm. If you get so hyper-focused on one thing, I don't think that that's good.
No.
In long term, I don't think that that's good.
I agree.
You have to have these small victories in different avenues to kind of keep the fire.
Absolutely.
And then and it just seems like when you have all these different fingers out there, the big things just fall into place. But you got to be consistent with all of it, and it's hard to.
That's hard.
And that was something that I think it was Gary Vee that said it. He was talking about being patient. Like he was talking to it like a 20-something-year-old, like a 21-year-old, and he goes, even if you do nothing for the next 9 years, you're only 30.
Right.
You're only 30 years old.
Yeah.
And he goes, think about if you just did. Because you want to be a web developer and you want to do this and this and this.
Was Gary Vee.
If you just focus your energy for 2 years on each one of those things, you can get all of it done in the next 9 years.
Oh, easily.
But it's
Goes back to that.
It's that forward thinking.
Put a quarter away a week or something like that.
Yeah, or the penny and double it with the compound interest. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's there. Like getting up off the couch and not binge watching Game of Thrones. Right?
Some of us are already caught up.
But just doing something.
Yeah.
You got to get up. Oh, well, I'm going to take Krav or I'm going to take your classes when I'm in better shape. Are you kidding me? That's like a slap in the face. Like I've been told that. Yeah. Like, no. I want to be, because I don't like failing at something. What are you failing at right now? Because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So get up and do something.
Sure.
Like just because you don't want to take a self-defense class because you feel like you're out of shape.
It's just insecure.
It's
just insecurity. That's all it is.
People don't like to fail. People don't like to suck at stuff.
Yeah.
People don't like to.
They don't like
do
to be
things.
embarrassed.
They don't. And I think what's helping my school, all these people are going through the same thing that you went through. You think they knew how to throw a front kick before? No. Mm-hmm. Do they look good at doing it now? Yes. They could be better? Yes. Now I want them to do it. It's just a cultivation. It is an instant response. Now let's work on that. Now let's work on that mindset. I sat there and did a team building presentation yesterday with a self-defense class. It was so much fun. So I had students that were helping me because, that's how we do things. So I had some students of mine that were helping, and they were coaching these people. And I was like, you see, now that's growth right there. So these are adults, professional adults, got great jobs, doing things, helping people out, kids, everything, working through life. They want to sit there and give us some time to help somebody else. And I just fan that flame,
Absolutely.
Just keep it going. Yeah. Because you feel like, oh man, I've done something. Now I want somebody else to do it. And that's what's really cool about our program. I think that
the confidence it compounds.
We resonate.
It's like doubling that penny.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it is.
It's super cool. Like I've had people come up to me and be like, hey, you know what? You changed my life. Like that's awesome. Goes back to that. How do you motivate a motivator? Tell them how much you motivate them. Like it's a really cool thing to do. And then I was explaining this to one of my students that I want you, because of the trips and falls of going through our system, I want you to be better than me at that point in time. You know what I mean? Like I want you to be more pristine in a front kick or a roundhouse or a throw punch at that time than I was. Mm-hmm. So I want to make you pristine. I want you to be better than me. And that's what's going to help the growth in that person. I had a woman break down crying because she didn't like her wrist being bound. And I said, you don't have to do this. But let me tell you what's going to happen when you do. You're going to see this point of your life. And it could be symbolic. It could be anything. But here you are. You're submitting yourself to get bound, something that you don't want to do. And this people around you, and she didn't even know anything about it. So she set this event up. I said, these people around you, your team, because you're building a team, this could be, regardless if I teach you how to punch, kick, or anything, this right here is your team building. Because she was the boss of them.
Okay.
Said, look, you get through this. Your team's right there behind you. They're going to help you get through this because they've seen an emotional attachment that you have towards this. Oh my gosh. The first time she hit something bound, this tape exploded.
Oh man.
It blew off and she's just hitting boom, boom. And then whatever strike I taught that day, she didn't know. A palm strike, she was throwing knees.
Yeah.
She was just, and
she
I
just
said,
got it.
have at it, go at it. And tears flowing down her face and she's hitting stuff. And I'm like,
she broke out the chains, man.
This is it, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to break those chains?
Yeah.
You want to stop being fat? What are you going to do to stop being fat? You want to get a better job? You want to make more money? What are you going to do that?
Right. Right.
What's stopping you? Is it the bondage of the wrists?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Know your why. Get the heck out of it. Tighten up your bootstraps. Get the hell on. I'm sure adults have had that already. They've been through parts of their lives. They just have to remember how that felt.
Yeah, because at some point they did that.
You had to.
You had to have to get to just get to be an adult. You had to pull yourself together. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't just. It just seems to go away though. At some point,
it does.
You get over a hump and you're like, God, that was tough.
Yeah,
I'm done with all that.
Yeah, can't do it again. What?
Yeah, I don't even know that people believe that they can't do it again. They know that they can do it again. They just don't want to. They don't want to. The comfort is better for them.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Some people, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that it's not fine.
Yeah.
And those people get depressed.
They do.
Because it's not fine. Yeah. And they know it's not fine.
Stay in their funk.
Yep.
Stay in their stink. No, don't do anything that's going to motivate them. And I'm not saying that people should go out and do Krav or jiu-jitsu or a martial art.
Yeah, that's just what we do.
Yes.
You could go and
say you want to be a fisherman. You had a pole that given to you for Father's Day. You always said, you know what? One of these days I'm going to go out there fishing. And it's still sitting there.
Yeah, it's collecting
dust. The spool is all dried up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's going to waste away. Think of your body right now as that fishing pole that's wasting away.
Yeah.
Those people that buy treadmills, like, oh, that's it. This is the year.
Yeah.
Right? And they go and get the treadmill, and it's still sitting there.
Right. No, absolutely.
What happens? Where's that person that wanted that motivation to buy $1,200 piece of equipment?
Yeah.
You know?
God, it's such a waste, too.
It is a waste. Hey, I'll freaking put it up on Marketplace. I'll pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint, or the biggest, I don't know, whenever you ask people that are on their deathbed, what's your biggest regret? And it's always about stuff like we're talking about. Yeah. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Man, I just want to be I want to be so at peace on that bed. Yeah. When I'm about ready to go.
Like I did it. I did it, man.
I lived this life to the fullest.
I did it.
I touched a lot of folks that in a positive way. I don't know what else I could have done. I gave myself to this world.
We're putting our treasures up right now.
Yeah.
Because if people were sitting there watching or listening to us, you know, like if we resonate with you, also if we resonate with you, go ahead and subscribe. And
oh, shameless plug. There it is.
Give us a little share. Let people know how much we resonate you, because we don't charge you for this.
Right.
All the money came out of our own pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but that's why we do it.
Yeah, because
Stars Podcast for Life.
Don't want to have any regrets.
Right.
I want to have zero regrets. I want to, and again, create that community. And the more positive people we have out there, the more positive people we have out there that have the bandwidth to make progress in this world.
All about bandwidth. That's it, man.
Yeah,
people start to look for those commonalities. And if we're part of that commonality, I'm sure there's other people that they're listening to too. Yeah. You know? Ah, man, that's it.
That's what we listen.
The bandwidth. Yes, we do.
We listen to a lot of the same people, and we didn't even know that.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The people that you're listening to, clearly they're impacting you in a way that you like.
Right.
Whatever that is. Yeah. I mean, they could be talking about Marvel Comics. They could be talking about fishing. They could talk about hunting. They could self-defense.
Yes.
Whatever. Racing. I don't know. But those people.
Racist.
Racing.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe racist too. I don't know what you're into. Whatever. Listen, side note. So there's this guy. And you know how like we always want to, I don't want to say we, but like the Democrats, and they seem like they want to censor, and the Republicans want to censor, and all these things, deplatforming people. It's a very slippery slope, and I don't think anybody should.
Deplatforming, great. That's a good one.
But here's what I'm saying. So I saw a guy yesterday driving in a truck, and he's got a sticker on his car. And it's a woman on a pole, and at the top of it says hose. I support single moms $1 at a time.
Yes, yeah.
So I see the sticker. I look at my wife. And I say, "You see that?" She goes, "Yeah." Like, I want him to keep that sticker on, and I want him to make that sticker bigger. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I want to know when those type of people are around me.
Yeah.
Because those aren't the right people.
Right.
That's not okay to have that type of thing on your truck, in my opinion.
Right.
But I know everything I need to know about you.
You're absolutely correct.
And yeah, I'm passing judgment on you.
Right.
I'm sure you're super nice to your mom.
Yeah.
What the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But what you have on your truck, that is so offensive to me. But you know what? I'm glad you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I know you're not my thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm going to, and this is something that my wife told me the other day too, and she posted on her LinkedIn, maybe her Facebook, I can't remember. But not everybody's feedback is important.
This is true.
Not everybody, you can give me feedback. You can give me comments. But if you're not in the trenches with me, you can go ahead and pound sand, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. You're not in my mindset. You're not in my bandwidth.
Yeah, you're not going to bring me down.
Right.
If you're not in the trenches with me. Now listen, if you're in the trenches with me and I'm messing up, I better listen to you.
Take that feedback.
Because if you tell me something that I'm doing wrong, or my wife tells me that I'm doing something wrong, or somebody that I train with, and I'm not doing the right things, or I'm being a dick to somebody, I'm going to listen to you. But if it's just some Tom, Dick, and Harry that I don't know,
right?
That's, I don't know.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time out to comment on my stuff, but hey, so be it. So it was.
You're not gonna faze me.
It was kind of funny. This guy. So as I was walking around in Meadville, I ran into another business owner, and I told him what I do, self-defense. He's a big fitness guy. Just opened up a gym, beautiful gym, super huge. And it looked like he bit on too much more than he could chew, but so be it.
Yeah.
And he was like, so what do you do? And I tell him what I did. And he was like, man, that's cool. And I said, nobody knows about this place. Like, what are you doing? Do you have a social media platform? And he was like, we're doing the Facebook thing. We're doing this and that and that and this. And he wasn't ready for me to like tell him how crappy your social media is, but when I told him that we were doing like a podcast and we got a YouTube channel, he lit up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So he wasn't hearing anything else I had to say, but as soon as I said something about a podcast and what we were doing,
isn't that crazy?
It was pretty cool. Like, I was like, those are the triggers. Those are the people that we're looking for.
And how many people said, man, I've been trying to do a podcast for months.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do a YouTube channel, man.
Yeah. How do you do that? Yeah.
You just do it.
That's it.
You think I know anything about anything on the editing tools and the microphones? Man, we had the microphones backwards and upside down. Thank God Aaron came up here. Like,
shout out to Aaron.
I mean,
my man in West Virginia.
As simple as that. Logo is towards you. Just FYI.
Yeah. He was like,
this is no wonder like you're talking to each other. He was so nice about it too. Yeah. He's just like,
yeah. Hold on a minute.
It was backwards. It's like,
thank you,
God. Like that's the face. But you know what? We just jumped in.
Yeah.
We don't dip our toes in. We whoosh.
Yeah, here we go.
Shit, that's cold.
Yeah.
But we're in.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. So many people have said, you guys are doing a podcast? What? You have a YouTube channel? It's like, yeah. Duh.
Don't you all?
That's what we do. It's funny. It kind of like, it feels good. It feels good to kind of,
and
brag a little bit.
And it's not even like braggadocious. It's not like, I'm better than you. No. Now, if you take it like that, it's because you had that in mind.
Insecurity.
And all of a sudden, you see somebody else doing it next to you. Boom.
Yeah, now you're mad.
Yeah.
Now you're mad at me.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Yeah, he's got money. He's got this. They're of course they have that because who else can afford the microphones and all? Come on, bro.
Amazon.
Get out of my face.
$55 free shipping.
It's your insecurities that are that's your wall.
Yeah.
That's your wall. That's it.
And don't blame nobody else for your wall. You built that wall.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like border walls, but you built that wall, right?
Did you see Mike Pence So he went to one of those camps.
Yeah.
With the migrants that are trying to come over, and he looked like an absolute idiot.
Oh,
he stood there. Honest to God, Aaron. He stood there for like 45 seconds, like looking up and then looking down. He never really looked at the people that were yelling, and not even yelling. Like, they were fine with everything that was going on, which was very strange to me.
Yeah. I don't know. Dude, go ahead.
There's like 100 migrants that have been quarantined into this building.
Right.
And they're behind fences.
He didn't want to see
that.
that.
It almost looked like a humane society for people.
Ugh.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he's standing there and he's just like looking around. It was very strange.
Yeah.
It was a really weird interaction between somebody who's supposedly a staunch Christian and wanting to help folks.
Right.
And these people, it felt gross.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of talking about, you were talking about walls, and then I jumped there because it was.
I mean, but it goes back to like the walls, whatever you're going to put in front of you that you need to do to get through. We could do a whole topic on the whole migrants and.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make that a topic. It was just like, it was a weird interaction that I didn't know if you saw it because it was just gross.
I used to be so much on like the news, like I get up, hit the news, and you know what? Everybody has their own agenda and what they put out. Like you talked about, they want to dethrone or deplatform.
Yeah.
You know, like and I hate that. Just give me the meats and potatoes, man. Give me, hey, look, we going to war. Do I need to get in my bunker? Do I need to get more ammo? You know,
right?
Like give me that.
Sure.
You know, but now I got so much stuff wrapped up in my house that I'm waking up in the morning and it's sun up to sundown, just grinding.
Yeah.
My household is, I mean, my mother's living with us now. You know, we're taking care of her. We got 2 rugrats running around. You know, my lovely wife, man, she's freaking amazing. She's at home. She has no reprieve. None at all. You know, my reprieve is going to work, but I'm still going to work.
Yeah.
And then I got to come home, and then I have to let her de-stress on me, right? And then I got to go to train. And then I come home, a little more de-stress, shower and shave.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow is going to do the same exact thing.
Right.
Like and there's 2 types of stress. There's acute stress and there's another one. There's acute stress and I don't know what the other one. But acute stress is that you don't have any relief of your stress.
Yeah.
Mental health wise, it's a horrible situation.
Not good.
In. Yeah. So you have to have
some sort of outlet.
You do.
Yeah.
You know? And that's it. That's tough to do. So for me to sit there and listen to somebody else piping about what this person did or what that person did or how Cortez is making fun of this person, like, all right, man, I got my own stuff.
Yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean?
Can't.
Like, I'm just gonna keep scratching that.
That's why I do like some outlets. Like as far as media comes in and news like that, because they do kind of give you the meats and potatoes.
Yeah. This is what's cool about this. This is organic. You know, this is the bandwidth that you like to be in, and this is what you listen to.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, dude, we've done an hour. What do you think? You want to wrap it?
Yeah. So we need some kind of outro. Like, so, hey, if anything resonated with you, please go out and tell people, like, this is how we continue to do this. This is what motivates us. By you subscribing, you reaching out to us, letting us know what kind of feedback you guys might want to hear or some things that you might want to hear about. Subscribe down below. Find us at GCReek_ValorPDS. And
I'll be at Ambitious Distractions on Instagram.
But yeah, keep it going.
Sweet.
All right.